Hello everyone, what do we have here? I picked this up yesterday at the flea market in Vienna, and the very lovely stall holder, his name is Michael, very kindly wouldn't accept any money from me for it. Just to give you a sense of scale, you can see it's actually quite small. It's a craft knife with 3 blades. I think the blades are, well, they're numbered or named A, B and D. Until I remove all the rust from the blades, hopefully it will reveal which blade is which. But it's a Swann Morton Unitool, made in the UK. It's an amazing company. I've been researching them, and they make millions of medical scalpels and other medical equipment. A very well-known, famous brand, I believe, around the world, internationally. But they've got an incredible social history to the factory and the founders of the factory. And I hope to cover that more as we go along. But my intention is to try and clean up this Unitool, polish it up and make it usable. I've done a quick bit of research and found that it's possible to buy at least a couple of these blades in the UK, so I'm going to investigate that. But my plan is to try and remove some of this rust, see how much I can clean up and sharpen these blades, and hopefully turn it into a usable tool. Hope you enjoy coming along on the journey, and I'll do it in stages and keep you updated. This is round 1 after using my Proxen Dremel type tool with a steel and brass brushes just to get the initial rust off it. What I've been able to identify now, that this is the A blade, this is the B, and I assume this is the D. These two, it is possible to see the A and B on the engraving, but this one's still a bit mucky. So I'm going to work on using some sandpaper now, just to gently continue to clean the surfaces up and see if I can get that any better. Hi everyone, I'm on the 3rd part of this video now. It's been a while since I posted the first, I made the first 2 because I'm back from the UK after a short trip there to visit family, and I was super lucky. You might remember that I mentioned that I had sourced a couple of companies that sold the blades for this Unitool, and sure enough I ordered them and picked them up over there. And as you can see, one of these suppliers provided 2 of the blades, the A and the D blades, in this original box. So I'm really chuffed to have that, actually, the original box. This end's a little bit tatty. I'll try and restore that and tape it back together. But inside it has a date, which I think is the 8th of December 1985. So I do know that these Unitool blades here slightly differ from the originals, and I've got them here to show you. This is what I managed to get them to after I did as much polishing and sanding, etc. So we have the A, B and the D blades, and so these are the originals that came with the knife. And considering how rusty they were, I think you'd agree that's not bad that they've come up. I've just used a wire brush on them, used a bit of sandpaper, and I probably could sharpen them a little bit, but I decided to keep them as they are. I didn't want to use those in those conditions. So I will keep these original blades. So if you note the shape of the slots there, you'll see that the original blades that I managed to get, so here is an A, and here is the B. Oops, can't pick it up. Be careful because they are really sharp. And there is the D. You'll notice the slots are slightly different. So as I said, I have seen pictures online of a Unitool that had a plastic handle, and I guess it had a large knurled nut to hold the blades together and to accommodate that. So this slight downturn here on the original one, but the blades are exactly the same dimensions, same shape, and these slots still work on this Unitool. And I'll just show you, I'll just pop those down there. I polished up the outside as much as I could. I have not used any metal polish actually on it, and I've decided I don't want to overly polish it because I quite like the patina on it. There's no rust on it. Well, it's brasses, It's not really pitted in any way, and I quite like this retro look, so I'm not going to over polish that. I did use my hand tool to brush up and polish up the knurled nuts on each side, managed to get rid of little bits of rust on the outside, and that's the best I could get those, but I'm still happy with that. I don't want them to look that pristine because it's still an old hand tool. So as a craft knife, it's got 3 blades, as you can see, as you saw before. Lovely Swann Morton engraving there, Unitool, made in England, made in Sheffield. If I just loosen the nut here a little bit, it is possible to just fit 1 blade in there. And if you notice that knurled nut there, can I get it in focus? Oh, it's thicker at that end. It does go all the way through, so if you only wanted 1 blade, you could operate it with just the 1 blade like that. But I think it's so cool to have the option of these 3 different blades to choose from, depending on what use you want to use them for. I'm really interested in that B blade in the middle, so I might demonstrate it, but they are absolutely razor sharp. So if I was to select that one and let the others just drop back down, just lie them like that, tighten it up again, give it a good tighten. Of course, these are on the top end of the blade, so it's completely smooth. It's not sharp. Obviously, you're not going to cut yourself there. So that's that blade fixed in place. And I just demonstrate. I'm just more likely to use it on leather, my leather work. So here is a 4mm piece of leather there, pretty thick. Again, I'm really unsure as to that shape of blade, how you'd want to use it. It looks like quite a good slicing kind of craft knife blade there. So I'm just going to demonstrate it with this. I'm trying to think of the safest way without slicing anything off. I might go across the way. So as I cut into it, and I think with any craft knife, you don't have to cut it all the way through the first time, but I can think you'd agree that's a really nice clean cut through there, and that's 4mm thick piece of leather. That was relatively easy to do. Again, I think if I was going to try and do anything fine, I think I could shave off something quite finely there as well. That's pretty cool. I had a little scrap of leather here which I've been basically shredding up and slicing. I tried it with one of the other blades earlier, but it is possible to get, I can't do it on this scrap now, it's not quite big enough. But I did actually cut this little curvy shape on it. It was really easy. But with this thickness of, I mean, it absolutely is just, it's like literally like a knife through butter. This is very thin leather, so it's not too difficult to cut. But what a super knife. I'm so thrilled with it. It said, lovely Michael at the flea market at Naschmarkt in Vienna. Just said, put your money where you can have it, that rusty old thing. And so I'm absolutely thrilled to get the blades for it. I was a little bit selfish when I found it online. The suppliers, one supplier only had, I think, 14 of one of the blades remaining, a little bit more of the other. So I did buy all 14. And this is my little stack of the blades here. So these are the A, the D, and that's the B blades. These only cost me 15p each. And I'm sure they'll last quite a while. And this one here, that's the B blade, which is harder to come by. See, I only found one supplier that had it. And I didn't buy their entire stock, but I did buy 10 blades. And that came to a total of £6 for 10 blades. So it was definitely worth buying them. And I will keep them in their original Swann Morton box, somewhere nice and safe. So as I said, I'm really thrilled with this craft knife. Again, a nice piece of little bit of British history there, made in Sheffield. The company, as I gave some information about, has an incredible foundation on strong socialist principles of fair pay and fair treatment of their staff. And it was founded in 1932 by Walter Swann, J.A. Morton and Doris Fairweather. And before they even started trading, they set up 4 founding principles. And I will add a link to my to the video so you can have a read. Amazing principles at that time. I believe the company is still in operation. They now produce 1.5 million scalpel blades, scalpel handles for internationally. Most medical all medical suppliers, hospitals probably have Swann Morton blades. The company originally was founded to make razor blades originally. And what was most impressive is that even in 1939, they introduced a 40-hour working week for their staff. In 1957, they introduced pension schemes. And when the last remaining two founders had no heirs, they set up a trust, a charitable trust, a trust for the company, where when they died, 50% share of the company went to the employees and a 50% into a charitable trust. And so that is pretty amazing. They continued with their principles of how they wanted to look after their staff. And today, they're still a very successful company. And I would be thrilled to find out from anybody at Swann Morton, if they see this video, if they could tell me if they know the date range of this tool, this particular tool. I'd love to know how old it is. When was it introduced? When did they phase it out to the plastic one? And I'd love to be able to date it. I have some idea. I don't want to guess, but I'm really thrilled to get it usable, and I'm looking forward to using it on my crafting work. So I really hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope to set up or to post another one soon. Thanks and bye.